Why buy a 4x4 vehicle? Surely in Manila roads, a 4x2 would suffice. But what if I tell you that just outside of Manila, about 1.5 to 2 hours away, we have plenty of gorgeous landscapes waiting to be explored. And you may need a 4x4 vehicle to access them. A 4x4 vehicle such as this one. This is the Ford Everest Titanium 4x4. And I think this is one of the best 4x4 PPVs in the Philippines today. Why do I think so? Let's find out. To some, a vehicle is a means of getting from point A to point B. To others, it can be more than that. It can be a hobby, a gateway to a different lifestyle, or a means of connecting with other people. Now, I've been a car enthusiast for a while, but I only used to appreciate cars that are fun to drive on pavement. I only got to really enjoy four-wheel drive vehicles when we took the Ranger FX4 Max off-roading about 2 years ago. That was an eye-opener for me. It opened my eyes to the fact that there's so much more that you could do, so many more places that you could explore if you just had the right vehicle. In the Philippines, we are blessed to have so many beautiful places within just a couple of hours away from Manila. The Everest Titanium 4x4 has the capability to take you to those places. But it also offers a lot more than that. Ford packed every modern tech that you could find on a modern vehicle in the Titanium 4x4. And it's currently the most feature-packed PPV that you could buy in the Philippines. Now, it's quite easy to spot the Titanium 4x4 in the lineup because this is the only one that comes with these Matrix adaptive LED headlamps. Now, rather than tell you what Matrix adaptive LED headlamps are, I'd rather just show you how they work. So at first, I thought that the projectors swiveled left and right to move the light beam, but apparently they don't. There is a third projector that turns on when you turn the wheel. And as you can see, it doesn't turn on abruptly. It slowly fades in and fades out, which gives you the illusion that the main light beam is slowly turning. So this is what it looks like from inside the car. The light beam moves with the steering wheel, which is very helpful on dark, twisty roads as it allows you to see further. Also, this is the only variant that comes with a radar unit because this comes with full ADAS, which includes adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, lane departure warning, automatic braking. Basically, almost every modern driver assist feature that you can get on a modern car. Also, you get LED fog lamps down here, and of course, you get front parking sensors. Both the Titanium 4x4 and 4x2 come with 20-inch polished wheels wrapped in Goodyear Wrangler 255 55 series tires. You get disc brakes on all four corners, double wishbones at the front, and a rigid axle with coil springs at the back. The Ford Everest is a massive vehicle. It is the biggest in its segment. It is also much bigger than the previous generation Everest. It is 2 inches wider thanks to longer suspension arms, and the wheelbase is also 2 inches longer. Also, if you haven't seen my videos yet, the wheel wells are actually bigger, so they can accommodate bigger tires if ever you need to upgrade. Also, aside from the wheels, one way that you can tell the Titanium 4x4 apart from the other variants is this badge over here, which says Biturbo. The Titanium 4x4 is the only variant that comes with Ford's 2-liter Biturbo engine, which is currently the most powerful engine in this segment. You get a keyless entry system, so if you want to lock the door, just press this button over here. And if you want to unlock it, put your hand here. Yeah, saves you the hassle of having to get your key from your pocket. Here at the back, most variants except for the base model look alike. They all get the same LED tail lamps. This one gets 4x4 badging. Of course, you get rear parking sensors. And of course, you get a power liftgate. Space here is the same as the other variants, but what is different is that the titanium 4x4 comes with power folding third row seats, which relieves you from the arduous task of having to push the seats down. Now, if you need more space, you can also fold the second row seats. So with all the seats down, you have this much cargo space. I think the Ford Everest has one of the most premium and one of the most modern looking interiors in the segment. So let's start with the seats. The seats are fully leather wrapped. Both front seats are also power adjustable. The driver's seat gets adjustable lumbar support, which I always appreciate. Of course, you can move it forward and back. You can adjust the height, but you can't adjust the thigh support. Of course, you can also recline it. So let's step inside. Thankfully, you get grab handles for easier entry. Like I said, this is one of the most modern and most premium looking interiors in the segment, and that's thanks mostly to these large screens. The titanium variants are the only variants that get these 12-inch vertical screens. The lower variants of the Everest get smaller 10-inch screens, which are still big compared to the competition. So this gets wireless Apple CarPlay, it gets wireless Android Auto. You also get a 360 camera. The resolution is the best in this class, and because you have such a large screen, you can see the details very clearly. And in case the details are not clear enough, you can also zoom in to any particular area, like that. I can zoom in on that side. So this is really helpful, of course, when you're parking in tight spaces, but also when you're off-roading, because you can see the obstacles around your car. Of course, you get active guidelines. You also get voice recognition. So let's say FM 89.9.
Tuning to FM 89.9.
So you don't have to fiddle with the controls while you're driving. You can just talk to the car. So a lot of the controls are on the screen. For example, your auto hold button is not over here where you would expect to find it. It's on the screen. To enable it, you'll have to go through the menus, go to driver assistance, and then click on auto hold, which is one of my few complaints about the car. I wish they just added that physical button over here, but thankfully you do get physical knobs and buttons for your climate control. You get dual zone climate control, and you get knobs for each climate zone. You also get a physical volume knob at the center. The fan speed controls are buttons. One more thing that's unique to the titanium variants is this 10-inch screen. The lower variants get smaller 8-inch screens, which are still big compared to the competition. So this is fully customizable. And one more thing that's unique to the Everest Titanium is the shifter over here. This is the only one that gets an electronic shifter, which is necessary for the vehicle's auto park function, which I'll show you later. Also, it has this nifty safety feature. For example, the car is in drive and you open the door. As you can see, it automatically goes into park, so you can't leave the car accidentally in drive, which is something that maybe you have done in the past. Hopefully not. A wireless phone charger comes standard in all variants, including the base model. This wood accent is unique to the titanium variants. You also get dual glove boxes. Their steering wheel is leather wrapped. It's not as soft as the previous Everest, but it feels comfortable enough. Now, this is one thing that's new on the new Everest, the design of the door opener. So it's not over here, it's over here, and the first time you use it, it seems awkward, but it's actually designed that way. So you open the door using your right hand. I believe this is called the Dutch method. So if you open the door using your right hand, you twist your torso and you can more clearly see what's coming from beside you. Yeah, so it's safer that way. But if you prefer opening the door using your left hand, you can also do that. I've actually gotten used to it. The steering wheel tilts, it also telescopes. Of course, this knob over here is exclusive to the 4x4 variant. This is for selecting 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. And you also have different drive modes. For example, you have eco, you have tow haul, you have slippery, you have mud and ruts, and you have sand. So this adjusts your traction control to the most optimal settings. By the way, there's one more thing that's unique to the Everest, and that's this one right here. Oh, sorry. Okay, so currently the Everest Titanium is the only PPV in the segment that comes with a panoramic sunroof. Now I know the Montero has a sunroof, but it's not panoramic. So panoramic means that it extends from the front all the way here to the back. In terms of space, you have plenty of legroom. The front seat is adjusted to my height. Headroom is good, although the panoramic sunroof does eat a bit of space. You do get a bit less space than the other variants, but I still have about 3 inches, which is more than enough. Over here you get one USB-A port, one USB-C port. You get one AC power outlet for your laptop, and your fan speed controls are over here. Your air con vents are up here. You also get a foldable center armrest with 2 cup holders. The seats can be reclined. Yeah, the seats can be reclined by this much, as you can see. Now sitting like this, I am very comfortable, and the panoramic sunroof does help improve the ambiance inside the cabin. Okay, the second row seat has a 60-40 split, and the 40% part moves forward for easier access to the third row. Okay, so here at the third row, I have very minimal space. Knee room is quite limited, although you can move the second row seat forward if you want to. Headroom is about this much. I can fit 2 fingers on top of my head. The flooring is quite high, so my knees are at a pretty sharp angle. So it's not as spacious as the Mu-X, but definitely more spacious than the Terra and also the Fortuner. You get 1 cup holder over here, you get another one over here, you get one 12-volt outlet over there, and you get 2 aircon vents up here. Most top spec PPVs have a collection of advanced driver assist features, but the Everest has the most complete list. The Everest has all the advanced driver aids that you can find on other PPVs, and then some. Okay, let's engage adaptive cruise control. So it's a 2-step thing, and now my feet are not doing anything, and it should automatically slow down and even come to a complete stop without requiring input from the driver. So you can see my feet are still not doing anything, and it came to a complete stop. This also has lane keep assist, and this not only works on the highway, it also works in the city, as long as you have clear markings on the road. So you can see it automatically steers itself. It's trying to follow the lines on the road. There is no input from the driver right now. I'm not stepping on the gas, not stepping on the brakes, I'm not touching the steering wheel. All current top-of-the-line PPVs, except for the Terra, come with adaptive cruise control. But only the Everest Titanium 4x4 comes with lane keep assist. Lane keep assist requires electronic power steering, and currently only the Everest has an EPS system. Lane keep assist is dependent on road markings, and if the road markings are not clear, which is mostly the case in Manila, you will have to steer the car yourself. Adaptive cruise is a godsend in city traffic, as it reduces driver fatigue by a lot. It's almost 100% reliable. You mostly have to intervene in intersections and in get-gitan situations. I've driven from MOA to SM North in hardcore traffic, and I think I stepped on the brakes a maximum of 4 times. Now I have to note that these are driver assist systems, they're not autopilot, so you should always have your eyes on the road. In an ideal world, you should never be distracted while driving. But it's not an ideal world, and there will be times when you will be distracted. Having these systems on your car is a good fail-safe when the inevitable happens. All current top-of-the-line PPVs come with forward collision mitigation, which applies the brakes when it detects an impending collision. The Everest Titanium 4x4 on top of that also has rear collision mitigation, which applies the brakes when it detects an impending rear collision. Now, it doesn't work 100% of the time, but it's still better than not having it at all. The Everest Titanium 4x4 also comes with driver assist features with questionable usefulness, but still very impressive nonetheless. This is the only PPV that comes with automatic parking. So basically, you press a button, select if you want a parallel or perpendicular park, use the turn signal to indicate if you want to park right or left, and then the vehicle does everything automatically. My foot is just hovering over the brake pedal, ready to intervene if I have to, but it'll do everything automatically. It'll apply the brakes, it'll shift from drive to reverse, as you can see over here. Okay, it's now in drive, it's going forward. I'm not doing anything. This is all happening automatically. Done, finished. Wow. And it automatically goes to park. Now, I've shown you what the adaptive LED headlamps of the Everest Titanium 4x4 does. Now, for comparison, here is the Ford Everest Trend without adaptive headlights to your right. So you can compare the difference. Definitely in dark, twisty roads like this, having adaptive headlights helps a lot. Generally, you don't buy a PPV if handling is important to you, as these are big, hulking vehicles with a high center of gravity. Like other PPVs, you do get a lot of that swaying left and right when you're on uneven roads. However, it's not as bad on the Everest as it is on some of its competitors. The Fortuner would have the stiffest suspension, the Terra has the softest, the Everest would be somewhere in between right after the Terra. So the Terra has better ride quality, at least on straight roads. However, on twisty roads, not only does the Everest handle better, it's also less nausea-inducing because you don't sway left and right as much. The Everest Titanium 4x4 has the most powerful engine in the segment. 0 to 100 kph can be done in 9.5 seconds, which is almost the same as the Mu-X, which has 20 less horsepower but is smaller and also a bit lighter. Power at the low end is good, but unlike some of its competitors which lose steam at higher RPMs, the Everest is pretty fun to rev out. The 10-speed transmission has been retuned, and it now has a new torque converter, so it should shift better than the previous 10-speed. Now, as for the fuel economy, I got about 15.8 kpl on the highway, which is about the same as the Nissan Terra. In the city, I got between 8 to 9 kpl in moderate traffic. The Everest Titanium 4x4 has the most quiet cabin in the segment. The 2-liter bi-turbo is one of the most refined engines in this class. It is relatively quiet, and the sound that you hear doesn't sound like you're driving a diesel almost. If you step in the Everest, coming from one of its competitors, especially the Mu-X and the Fortuner, the difference is very noticeable. At idle, you can barely hear the engine. Even at 1,500 RPM, you still don't hear a lot of diesel clatter. And even if you rev it out to 3,500, it still sounds pretty refined. It's sometimes easy to forget that you're driving a diesel. Recently, we got to take the Ford Everest to Zambales, and it was a blast driving through the hard fields at high speeds. The Everest Titanium 4x4 comes with a lot of tools if you ever want to take your rig off-road. You get multiple drive modes including sand and mud. You get longer suspension arms for better articulation. You get a rear differential lock, which should come in handy on surfaces with very loose traction. The traction control does a good job of distributing the power to all four corners. It just allows you to slide the rear end a bit without fully losing control. If you want to do a bit of hooliganism though, there is a dedicated physical traction control off button. Now, if you're wondering if a 4x2 vehicle would make it through these fields, it probably can, although there's a higher chance of getting stuck. In fact, there was a 4x2 Sport with us that got stuck and needed help. The Everest Titanium 4x4 sells for 2.49 million pesos. That is 316,000 pesos more expensive than the Titanium 4x2. For that extra money, you get power folding third row seats, you get a more powerful but just as fuel efficient engine, and you also get ADAS. The extra features alone make the price difference worth it. But also, on top of all the tech, on top of all the features, you'll find that a 4x4 can offer more than the sum of its parts. Maybe like me, you'll find that exploring unbeaten paths using your vehicle can be a cathartic experience. Maybe you'll look forward to the weekend because you'll be going car camping with your family or with your friends. And maybe, like me, you'll get a newfound appreciation for the Philippines and its many gorgeous landscapes. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please consider clicking on like and subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video.